station. Hey everyone, Leo here. I'm from the United States, living in Argentina. I'm here to tell you that a new pope has been elected. I know the news has been everywhere, you can't avoid it. In this video, I'm going to talk about the new pope and obviously the previous pope that was actually born in Argentina. I feel that this video is relevant because I myself am living here in Buenos Aires, where the Pope was born. The previous Pope, Pope Francis, the one that died on April 21st, 2025 at the age of 88. This is his neighborhood. This is the church where he decided to become a priest. This video was filmed on the very day of his death. Here in the city of Buenos Aires, they made a mass for him that evening that he died, around 12 hours after his death. This is the city of Flores, Buenos Aires, and it's right next to a subway train station on a very popular and very transited street. Thousands and thousands of people came to his mass to celebrate his life and to mourn his death. These are some of the images I was able to capture that day when I attended that very mass dedicated to Pope Francis. I was able to go inside when the mass finished after most of the thousands of people left. I'm going to tell you all about the new pope that was just elected and his connections to Pope Francis. But first, let's start with Pope Francis. He was born December 17th, 1936. In this very neighborhood, he was born in a house not too far away from here. And he also grew up at a house a few blocks away from here. And in the end of this video, I'm going to show you some images of the outside of his house, which I visited after this mass. I walked over there. It was around a 10-minute walk. It is believed that Pope Francis made that exact same walk hundreds of times in his life. Actually, this church is very important for him because it is believed that one day he was walking across it on the sidewalk, saw a light inside that caught his attention, and went inside to confess. Immediately after confession, he decided to go into priesthood. And the rest, as we all know it, is history. He ended up becoming the Pope, one of the most important persons in the world. That being said, he was a very simple man, lived a very humble life. He was supposed to earn over 340,000 euros a year from the Vatican, but he never accepted the money. He also dedicated most of his life to ending poverty. Imagine cleaning floors and becoming a pope. There's absolutely nothing wrong with cleaning floors, but that's exactly what he did. He had many odd jobs. He was once a janitor, and he also worked as a bouncer at a club. I've worked as a doorman in a club in Miami, Churchill's, if you guys know, very ugly place at an ugly neighborhood. Imagine the people that he had to deal with and the things he could have seen. I mean, recently here in this very city, and actually a nicer city of Buenos Aires, in the middle of Palermo, a bouncer was killed inside of a club. So anything could happen. But Pope Francis was very simple and humble. He was known for walking, taking public transportation, the bus, the subway, as well as eating at these local eateries. He also maintained that very humble approach once he became a pope. Most popes are offered to live in this big, luxurious housing that looks like a mansion, but he chose to live in a modest housing complex in the Vatican. It is clear that from his birth till his death, he lived a simple and humble life without any luxuries. He died without any riches. He lived with the minimum. He did not own properties around the world, as he donated all of his earnings to charity. Now we'll talk about the new pope. His name is Robert Prevost, and he's from the United States. He chose to name Leo XIV. Very reserved man. Born September 14th, 1955 in Chicago. His father was in the United States Navy, a veteran of World War II. Imagine the ordeals that he survived. His father was a school administrator. He had French and Italian descent. His mother had Spanish descent. As a child, Prevost served as an altar boy at St. Mary of the Assumption Church on the far south side of Chicago. Anyone knows that Southside Chicago is very dangerous, especially during those years. The new pope became a priest in 1982. He's got a degree in mathematics, master's degree in theology, and a doctor of canon law degree. He spent over 11 years in Peru heading the Augustinian seminary in Trujillo. He is a Peruvian citizen now as well. There, he also taught canon law in the diocesan seminary and served as a prefect of studies. Prevost served as a judge of the regional ecclesiastical court and a member of the College of Consultors of Trujillo. He also led a congregation on the outskirts of the city. In 1998, Prevost was elected provincial of the Augustinian province of Chicago and returned to the United States. In 2014, Pope Francis appointed Prevost as an apostolic administrator of the Diocese of Chiclayo and titular bishop of Sofar. Prevost speaks English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese, and can read Latin and German. Pope Francis thought very highly of him. In 2020, Francis named him the member of the Congregation for Bishops. On January 30th, 2023, the recently deceased Pope Francis appointed the new elected Pope Prevost prefect of dicastery for bishops with the title Archbishop Bishop Emeritus of Chiclayo. During 2023, Pope Francis also appointed him as the prefect of dicastery for bishops, a key position within the Roman Curia. The office is responsible for evaluating and recommending candidates for episcopate around the world. This very role increased Prevost's visibility and influence within the Catholic Church, potentially raising his profile ahead of any future papal conclave. A little bit over a month before Pope Francis died, on February 6, 2025, Pope Francis promoted Prevost to Cardinal Bishop, assigning him to the suburbicarian diocese of Albano in the province of Rome. I know all this is a little bit hard to understand because these are terms that we are not familiar with, but if we were to assume if Pope Francis had his choice on who the next pope would be, he would have chosen this very same pope. Pope Robert Francis Prevost of 69 years old, Pope Leo XIV. Take care.